Right, hello my friends, welcome back to This Week on the Internet. After 1,084 days, a global pandemic, and a completely unrelated personal tax bill, it's back! If you're not familiar with this series, basically the clue's kind of in the name. Every Monday at 8 PM on this plush new armchair, we're going to be walking you through and kind of keeping you up to date with everything that's going on in the online world. Now, if you're a veteran of this series, I know you will be doubting the weekly part. But fear not, because over the last few months, we've been hiring a team of experts and to help us with the researching and putting everything together. So hopefully, definitely, we're going to hit our schedule every single week, Monday at 8 PM. Be there. Here's all the socials. Spotify, probably. Sign this podcast. So, the title. It has turned out in the last few weeks, I've been done for fraud. Man pays off mortgage by selling fake MrBeast merchandise. This is a real article, by the way. It started off on the trusty news website Lad Bible, and then it's made its way onto other news outlets. It reads, a man has made enough money to pay off his mortgage after selling fake MrBeast merchandise, which even got a thumbs up from the man himself. So, the story here, right, is recently we made a short going on and pretending, whilst I was filming that Last to Touch private jet video, that I'd made fake MrBeast merch and that I was going to sell it. Now, my friends, I made a fatal error here and forgot that the average YouTube Shorts user is a fucking Neanderthal. So the whole joke of this, right, was supposed to be that MrBeast's website is called shopmrbeast.com, and I'd made shopmrbeats.com. Now, when you go on shopmrbeats.com, this is what you get, right? I thought I'd made it obvious enough. I even put the most outrageous Shopify earnings I possibly could, wrote sarcastically, this is 100% legitimate information. Please check the aforementioned URL for proof. Well, the majority of the audience on that short were American, so I'm assuming aforementioned was probably just too big a word to understand. But, my friends, it goes on. The article then goes to say, even though the merchandise is fake, the money it makes is very much real. And Will and A made hundreds of thousands from selling the gear. Now, Mr. Writer Joe, I can confirm here and now, the only effect the gear has had on my bank account is a negative one. Moving on. Now this week, a McDonald's in Wrexham has been increasing its efforts to deter the local youths by playing classical music, which probably now makes it the poshest restaurant in Wrexham. A Welsh brand of McDonald's has started playing classical music and rationing Wi-Fi in a bid to deter antisocial behaviour. Oh, yeah, is that Beethoven's Symphony No. 6? Shite this one, lads, let's go Five Guys instead. And then apparently, McDonald's said, we are aware of antisocial behaviour affecting the wider area and have introduced a number of measures in our Wrexham restaurant to support the police in tackling this issue. These include playing classical music from 5 PM GMT and turning off the Wi-Fi at certain parts of the evening. They were then quizzed on how they were kind of curating the playlist in order to kind of have the desired psychological effect on their customers, to which they replied, it's easy, we just borrowed it from the McDonald's surrounding Eton. Okay, moving on, my friends. In more important news, apparently, the price of a Wham bar these days is 61p. Horrendous. George Michael will be turning in his grave. Sorry, that's shit. Moving on. In news that this 70% British audience will not care about, Tom Brady. He's retired again, but that's not the story here. Because this lass, called Caroline, she then went to the exact spot that he sat in and bagged up the sand he was on. Now, my friends, that same sand currently has a bid for $99,000. Anybody else getting flashbacks? It does make you think, what's next? Where does this end? Are people gonna sell grass Messi's walked on? Or a ball Tiger Woods has hit? Or needles Lance Armstrong's used? All right, next up, this week, a TikToker called Nick, that's going to get me in trouble, posted this screenshot of a tenancy agreement where her landlord is trying to charge a goldfish $200 upfront, then $15 a month to live in the flat. I heard he's actually taken 16 deposits because the goldfish he keeps forgetting that he's paid it. It says here, I think it's also worth noting, restrictions. No aggressive breeds. Does he know it's in a tank? It's not exactly going to be like walking down the hallways. I dread to think what he charged our pal Tizzy. In other YouTube-related news that will make you feel old, Cody Ko's now married and PewDiePie's having a kid. Congratulations, Mr. Kjellberg and Mr. Ko. Moving on, this week in sport. I haven't really thought of this as a section, but we could do it. This week, as we gear up for the return of the Formula One season, we have seen some car launches. We've had Alfa Romeo, we've had Williams reveal their new cars. Red Bull then bucked the trend and just posted a picture of last year's car. But I think most notably of them all is if you look close on the Haas here, it's got a Palm Angels sponsor. I'm not sure what's going on over there. Maybe Gunther Steiner's just picked himself up a crushed velvet sofa, a neck tattoo, and maybe has an elf bar habit that he can't seem to kick. But it's an interesting move. In other sports-related news, this week we found out that Man City have been breaking financial fair play laws. In other news, the sun rose this morning, and we're expecting it to set later this evening. The Manchester club have been charged by the Premier League more than 100 times for breaches of its financial rules following a 4-year investigation. City have apparently strongly denied these charges and then hired a lawyer who charges £80,000 a day. If it's that fella who got Benjamin Mendy off, I'm sure they'll be just fine. I also saw in an article, the club are convinced that it was a past employee that have dobbed them in. I don't know about yous, but my money is on a certain hair-dyeing Spaniard. Moving on. This week also saw the launch of Hogwarts Legacy, the latest addition to the Harry Potter universe. It's expected to be one of the biggest games of the year. Ooh. It's set about 100 years before Mr. Potter and his mates were kicking about. And in it, you take control of a 5th-year student at Hogwarts. Clue's kind of in the name. Me in the first 10 seconds of Hogwarts Legacy.
Anything off the trolley, dears?
Now, I looked into this, and apparently you can't just go around Avada Kedavering students, which is a shame. I wanted Moaning Myrtle to catch a fat Crucio. Just downloaded Hogwarts Legacy. I've seen streamers have been getting shit for streaming it because J.K. Rowling's an arsehole, which I get, because it contributes to her resources and she's an arsehole and she could use those resources to be an arsehole. But she's a billionaire already. So it does make you wonder, should we just not let people have fun? She's an arsehole though, just confirming dickhead. In other news, a Chinese food blogger has been fined nearly 19 grand for eating a great white shark. So this is Tizzy, and here she can be seen buying, bedding, and grilling the big fish. That's just a small... It's not that great of a thing. It's the same size as a small Asian lady. Now, there's been a lot of controversy about this, right? Look, obviously, you shouldn't hunt and kill endangered animals. But I'll be honest, I'm kind of on her side. If you're going to eat any endangered animal, I think it's maybe a little bit fairer to eat one that would eat you. If it can scran us, I think we should be allowed to scran it back. Fuck them sharks. Anyway, I think a lot of the controversy comes from, she's kind of bought this shark illegally, off the black market, which makes you think, how the fuck do you become a shark dealer? Surely drugs are a lot easier. I've got a good joke about this. Would you like to hear it? Yeah. I've heard they've actually confirmed there's a documentary being made about the Pablo Escobars of the exotic fish world. They're calling it Sharkos. Okay, moving on. So this week we also had the Grammys. Now I'll be honest, I don't really care. I just wanted to show you what Madonna looks like now. Fucking hell. Honestly, I think there are probably more natural ingredients in an elf bar than in that woman's face. In news that will upset garden gnomes, this joke's really shit. Somebody's pinched all their shoes. Sorry, we're running out of things, right? This is the first episode of the show, and fuck all happened this week. A brand called Mischief have released some big red boots. They cost 300 quid, and they're inspired by anime character Astro Boy. I've got nothing to add of value. They're quite cool. Are they 300 quid cool? Probably not. Moving on. Prince Harry. I'm sure you have all heard. He did an audiobook recently. Horrible to listen to. And there's a bit where he talks about losing his virginity.
I suspected he was referring to my recent loss of virginity. Inglorious episode with an older woman. She liked horses quite a lot and treated me not unlike a young stallion. Quick ride, after which she'd smack my rump and sent me off to graze.
Brutal. This here is a girl called Sasha Walpole. That's the woman. She's come out and kind of like given her side of the story. No, I think this is a bit harsh on Sasha, right? Like this supposed older woman. Like the way he talked about it, I was expecting like fucking Denise Welsh. She's 2 years older than him. Anyway, let's have a look at what she had to say.
Hi, I'm Sasha Walpole. I'm here to tell my story in my words. I am the lady that Prince Harry wrote about in his book, who he lost his virginity to.
I've got to say, it's kind of a weird vibe to start with. Kind of like, feels like she's murdered someone. Anyway, apparently, they were just normal mates who went to the pub, played polo, the fox hunting, you know, the stuff we all did. She then says it was a shock to her that Harry was a virgin.
I didn't know Harry was a virgin at the time. It wasn't until probably the next morning when I actually thought about it. I was a bit, oh no, not because of him being a prince. It was just the fact that I'd slept with one of my friends and it was Harry. And but then it kind of dawned on me that perhaps he was, because obviously he'd never really had a girlfriend, I suppose, that I knew of.
He was literally a 16-year-old ginger. Now, my friends, I've got another zinger for you. The alleged romp happened on the 21st of July, 2001. And I thought the only ploughing that got done in fields was done in November. That's fucking terrible. We can't leave that in. Right, my friends, that is the end of this episode. We have a Reddit now. Please fucking help us out. As you saw, stories are quite barren. So if you've got anything you want us to talk about, please make sure to post it on the Reddit. Follow all of our socials, mainly Spotify. If you can go and give that a follow, I'll give your mum a great big kiss. A nice one, not like a gross one. Please subscribe. See you again next Monday. Hopefully this came out on Monday. Goodbye.